Bradley Cooper, head of the hospital lab.
Who wants to know?
Diane Miller, attorney at law.
Hey, those charges were dropped.
Good for you. You have me confused with someone else. You and I spoke several weeks ago about an important matter for one of my clients. I believe you're holding something for me.
Oh, right. Sorry, law. Yeah, I remember, and I do have the item in question. I'd gladly give it to you, except that it's against hospital policy. I'd be risking my job.
Yeah. I brought cash. Threw in a little something extra for your trouble.
Be right back.
Mr. Cooper.
Sorry, I'm not having a very good day. Actually, yesterday wasn't so great either. Anyway, here is the item you requested.
Pleasure doing business with you. Listen to Michael, AJ. He is particularly well-versed in this aspect of criminal law.
Diane, thank God. Maybe you can talk some sense into it.
This is my decision. I've made up my mind.
Oh, really? When were you planning on informing your attorney? We've been over this, AJ. You plead guilty, you tie my hands. You plead not guilty, and I can work my magic. Worst case scenario, we plead you down a lesser charge, a lighter sentence. Best case scenario, outright acquittal.
After what I did.
Unless you remember something, you still don't even know what you did.
The guilt, the remorse, whatever you may feel, that is for you to take up with your shrink or your minister. But this is a court of law. And you pleading guilty to first-degree murder leads you down one road. That's spending the rest of your life in prison. Please, would you stop wallowing? This is totally counterproductive. We haven't even begun to fight. Asks you how you plead, you utter 2 words. Not guilty.
Diane, they had the murder weapon with my prints on it.
You got nothing. That gun has been owned by your family for years. There are going to be 100 reasons why your prints are on it.
What about the fact that Connie wrote my name in her blood?
Okay, I've been thinking about that. Connie was with Sonny that night. We know that because Sonny called in the shooting.
So,
Sonny Corinthos has been having a passionate, highly screwed up affair with poor Connie Falconeri. Now, maybe they had an altercation, right? Sonny Corinthos is no stranger to guns. And his antipathy for you is legendary. So he writes your name in her blood. Presto. The perfect crime.
And you don't think that's a bit of a stretch?
I think it leaves room for reasonable doubt, which is all I need to convince a jury. We have a chance here, AJ, but not if you continue this self-recrimination. Whatever mix of self-pity and remorse you are feeling because you drank and you dissed your girlfriend, it's not going to be made better by you sending yourself to prison.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Powers presiding.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. What's first on our agenda today?
Alan James Quartermain, Jr., Your Honor. The charge, murder in the first degree.
Mr. Quartermain, to the charge of murder, how do you plead? Mr. Quartermain, the court is waiting. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty? Ms. Miller, is there a plea in our future?
Absolutely, Your Honor. AJ, you have to enter a plea. You know what to say.
Your Honor, I plead not guilty.
Right. Well, now that my client has entered his plea, may we please move to the issue of bail?
Your Honor, bond in this case would be unthinkable. Mr. Quartermain has fled the country on a previous indictment and had the resources to disappear for years. Who's to say he won't do the same thing this time?
I'm inclined to agree with you, Mr. Lazaro. Bail is denied. Mr. Quartermain will be held in custody at the PCPD while he awaits trial.
Your Honor.
We'll take a short break before the next case.
All rise.
Right. Well, I'm sorry about your bail, but at least you just finished with my first client. You're next on the docket.
Oh, goody.
Well, don't worry. I've got everything under control. You're just in time.
Next up is the People versus Franco Quartermain, a.k.a. Robert Frank. I am prepared to hear any pretrial motions in advance of jury selection. The defendant is facing multiple murder charges. I'll need to refer to my notes here.
Actually, Your Honor, that won't be necessary. I move to dismiss all charges.
On what grounds?
Regardless of Franco Quartermain's actions, he is not responsible for those crimes.
Enlighten me, Ms. Miller. If your client is not responsible, who is?
I'm so glad you asked, Your Honor, and I will be happy to show you.
Next, General Hospital.
I'm one of his victims. I can tell the court what you need to hear. Truth hurts, doesn't it? It's my baby.
I don't care what arrangement
That kid is done. My responsibility.
The longer the son he's left on his own, the bigger the chance he's going to do something terrible to himself.
I'm gonna be with you now, son.